So it was the mid-90s, and I had just played a very Zeppelin-esque, edgy set with my band at the Viper Room on the Sunset Strip. With its sticky black booths and one-way mirrors that concealed mountains of cocaine and the stars who snorted it. I was 22 and looked 12, with braids in my hair and a long flowing white dress, the picture of innocence for maximum shock value when I would unleash a wild distortion on my violin. See, I love paradox. After all, my mom was legendary comedian Lotus Weinstock, whose very name embodied the paradox of her persona. In her book, The Lotus Position, she said that Lotus was the California cosmic, Weinstock the Philadelphia Jewish. Lotus wanted to be totally free. Weinstock would settle for a discount. So after my set, with a wah-wah pedal in my hand, winding cables, and I ran to the edge of the stage to greet my mom with the same excitement that I used to have when I was a little girl running to the edge of the schoolyard at 3 o'clock. A child in love with her mother. This enchanting, blue-eyed, blonde-haired creature from whose loins I was lucky enough to have emerged. She liked to call me child of her loins. See, I was born a cesarean after 3 days of labor, and she would remind me of this if I ever used a harsh tone with her. She would lift her dress and say, "Don't make me show you my scar." So the Viper Room used to blast the latest dance hits after the shows. And they were playing this, funky comedy, And my mom was grooving in her own funky way to the pounding of the DJ, when in the middle of this cacophonous party, she turned to me intently and said, "I don't know if you're ever going to have children. The world will be your child." To which I replied, "What kind of thing is that to say to me? What the fuck? Funky comedy." So at this point in the night, my mom had had a couple of drinks. So I thought, and she'd had a couple of drinks and had gone around telling people, random people, the truth about themselves that she felt that they needed to hear. Mostly in the bathroom, and mostly solicited, actually. This may sound strange, but 17 years after my mom's death, people are still telling me that her bathroom rants changed their lives, and that she's still around them, giving them advice, guidance, and love. She used to say that I was a buzzkill, that she couldn't have a glass of wine around me, that I had the Betty Ford Clinic programmed into the auto dial. So my first thought when she told me I wasn't going to have kids was that I could dismiss this as some kind of tipsy rant, right? But I also knew that she was a little bit psychic, so I kind of felt this future sadness. Because even while I wasn't nearly ready to have kids, even if it was my destiny, I always thought somewhere in my mind that I would eventually have a child of my own with whom I would share the romance of motherhood that my mom shared with me. Motherhood was her religion, as she used to say. She said the reason that Jews can't accept that the Messiah has already come is that they have to think that it could be their own child. And that's how she treated me. I was born on Christmas Day, and she used to say that I was the Messiah. And so she honored my every inspiration, every thought, every dream with a poem or song. When I was 7 years old, I had a dream that I could play violin, and I told my mom, and she took me right to the music store, and we rented one. And when we came home that night, she wrote a song on the piano called Mama's Pride, which she knowingly sang in G major, which is a key where I could play violin, just open strings, having a sense of music right away, which is unheard of on the violin because it usually takes 5 years before you sound like anything other than Cats in Heat. She never recorded Mama's Pride, and all I have are the words and my